Also joining us to talk about the Pledge campaign and other activities are two members of the NAACP's Pipeline to Leadership program. We'd like to welcome the Operations Manager, Azya, and the Youth Outreach Coordinator, Charles Paige. Thank you both very much for being with us.
My pleasure.
I'll start with Azya. The way you got involved in this, I guess you said this is from mentoring. Mm-hmm. Talk about how.
So last year, since I have a minor in accounting, my mentor is actually the treasurer for the NAACP. So I originally was going to stay in Philadelphia at my school, but a couple of issues came and I had to come back home. So I just wanted some volunteer hours and some experience with outreach and community. So clearly that was the perfect place, and I just kind of jumped in and got involved, and it went from there.
Now, when I was a college kid, I was just focused on college things, whether it was the books or the partying, and I didn't think about the neighborhood I came from too much, but you have to think about that now that you're involved with. What makes you do that?
What makes me think about...
Why you want to get involved in the community and problems in the community?
Well, for one, I have family who are, I don't want to say in the streets per se, but in the streets. Some are in jail, some are not doing the best. So I'm close with them and I try to help them out. Plus, Temple is in a rough neighborhood as well, and I'm pretty involved in their community, not as much how I am now because I'm not in an actual organization, but I do reach out and I do try to help them with school and whatever else. And I just think it starts there in order to help our youth in general. Like if they're not doing great in the community, it kind of brings down everybody else. So I don't know why I'm so fascinated, but...
Charles, talk about your experience with the pipeline. I guess in the beginning, maybe you a little uncertain about being one of those people who get up in front of rooms and talk to large numbers.
Once I really started to get involved and I started developing the skill to talking to people, it was just a great experience. You meet a lot of people and you'll be surprised on how many people are excited about what you're doing. Like, we'll go out into the community and you'll always have someone like, oh yeah, NAACP, like, we're proud of what you're doing, keep doing what you're doing, like, represent. So that was really a great experience, and that's one of the reasons why I came back.
Talk about what you've been doing so far since you've been working in the pipeline.
I'm the Youth Outreach Coordinator, but in Pipeline we do voter registration, anti-violence campaigns. We went to the Springfield hearing, the Worcester hearing, and I spoke at the Springfield hearing. I said a quick paragraph. Azya said more. So we just kind of voice our opinion for our community in areas where people might not be able to reach as conveniently as we can.
The hearing, was this on violence or?
It was about the gun laws that are going to be happening in Massachusetts, and we're trying to take the guns out of Massachusetts. There's one big issue where it's straw purchasing, which is when someone from another community like Connecticut and places like that bring their guns into our communities, and it's perfectly legal for them to resell them, but it's affecting the violence in our communities.
Yeah. Coming back to Azya, how do you feel about working on this issue? Because I know in Massachusetts, I think there is a lot of popular support for tighter restrictions on access to guns, but nationwide, it's a different story.
I feel good about helping out because I learned so much this summer, and I definitely don't plan on staying in Massachusetts when I leave. So I feel like I can bring this knowledge wherever I go. Not a lot of people know how to deal with this situation or some of the laws and whatever else. So I plan on passing and sharing my knowledge with everybody else to help other communities.
Charles, talk about the campaign, the anti-violence campaign and the pledge. You've been taking some part in that. What have you been doing yourself exactly?
We go around the community handing out a flyer that we have, and it's kind of talking about how to stop the violence in our communities, like help the kids who are having problems around our neighborhoods. That's pretty much what we do surrounding that, but I feel like it's really important that we do that because it's going to affect our kids' future too. Not only us, it's going to affect more generations to come.
Do people talk to you, tell you things when you're passing out these pamphlets? Or?
Yes, they pretty much saying the same stuff, like, keep doing what you're doing, like, I'm proud of you guys, like, we really need this kind of support in our community. So it's really a good vibe that we get from people around the neighborhoods.
Azya, one of the things that we heard from the Youth Summit on Saturday was that a lot of people, younger people maybe, feel that they need to get guns because they're afraid that somebody else who has a gun already is threatening them. They don't feel that they can get the protection they need from authorities, so they feel kind of boxed in.
Right. Yeah, a lot of the reason why I personally think violence is happening is because people are scared, and for their own protection, they do feel like they do need to have weapons, and you know, if they don't trust police or they don't feel safe calling the police because maybe they might have a record or whatever else, or they feel like they might be digging a deeper hole for themselves, they're gonna carry weapons to protect themselves. So that is a big issue that I feel like we're trying to tackle now.
Charles, with your experience in the pipeline, has that changed your sense of what you'd like to do when you go beyond high school?
Yes, it has. Now I'm more in touch with my community, where before I was kind of just like whatever, going to school, coming back. But now I really want to affect the change that's going on. Like I want to help the homeless community, because Boston really doesn't have a homeless system really put in place to help them out. And just kind of to stop the violence pretty much, because I don't want my cousins, my niece, and other people like that to be affected by it.
Azya, what about you? Has this changed your direction even a little bit, maybe?
I've always been like wanting to help my community, but this really, really helped me learn a lot about the community and some of the main points we need to attack to try to fix the community, and it made my heart a little bigger and want to just help everybody, so definitely.
Well, thank you both very much, Azya High and Charles Paige.
Thank you.